Has it ever crossed your mind? A global star with a stage as vast as the world, standing tall before tens of thousands of spectators, suddenly overwhelmed by a wave of emotions so strong that tears become impossible to hold back. This question is now at the center of ARMY's attention worldwide after the shocking confession of Kim Taehyung, better known as V from BTS. In an exclusive interview with W Korea, which was later widely circulated on social media, V revealed a secret he had kept closely guarded. He quietly cried during J-Hope's solo concert, precisely at the moment of a duet with Jungkook. This confession shook fans' hearts and raised a big question. What exactly made Taehyung so moved that he could not hold back his tears? The moment took place on August 11th, 2025, a night initially filled with cheer and the energetic spirit typical of a J-Hope concert. The arena was bathed in light, the sound of fans' screams, and energy bursting in every corner of the venue. But behind the spotlight, there was an emotional story that almost escaped the cameras. Taehyung, who came to show support for his fellow member, admitted he was completely carried away by the performance. When J-Hope and Jungkook delivered a song full of meaning, he felt a surge of memories, friendship, and deep emotion that could not be contained. Actually, I cried during Hybe's concert. Especially, I shed a few tears during Hybe's performance. Taehyung said, his voice calm, yet carrying a tremor of emotion. What made this confession even more touching was Taehyung's honesty about how he tried to hide that vulnerable moment. He admitted feeling embarrassed to show that he cried in front of so many people, even before his BTS members. It was a secret because I was embarrassed. I was too shy to say anything, he confessed. Yet, amid that shyness, he still tried to appear confident, as if nothing had happened. I watched the performance confidently, pretending not to cry. What are tears? He joked, attempting to lighten the intensity of the emotion he felt that night for ARMY. This statement is not just a small backstage story. It is living proof of the depth of emotional bonds between BTS members, even after more than a decade together. When Taehyung watched Jungkook and J-Hope perform, he didn't just see two bandmates singing. He saw the long journey they had walked together, the exhausting training days, a debut filled with struggle, the success they achieved, and the challenges faced both as individuals and as a big family called BTS. Interestingly, this moment came in the midst of BTS preparing for their full comeback in the spring of 2026, after all members complete their military service. Many believe that Taehyung's tears that night were a symbol of his deep longing for their togetherness on stage as a complete group. Jungkook, known to have a very close relationship with Taehyung since the start of their careers, became a figure not only as a duet partner in Taehyung's eyes, but also as a friend who understands and shares many memories. When these two are on stage together, the emotion created goes far beyond a musical performance. It is a story of brotherhood told without words. The video featuring Taehyung's confession, first shared by the account at Kook Twins on X, formerly Twitter, quickly went viral and sparked heated discussion throughout the fan community. Many ARMY admitted to crying when imagining the moment, while others became even more convinced that BTS's bond is something rare and irreplaceable in the entertainment industry. Some fans even tried to analyze snippets of the concert video to find signs of the moment Taehyung cried. They noticed his facial expressions, his hand movements, and the way he looked at Jungkook on stage. Although Taehyung worked hard to hide it, for ARMY who know every detail of BTS members' body language, those small signals were enough to confirm that the moment was real. He looked like he was holding his breath, trying to control his emotions, wrote one fan in a thread that was retweeted thousands of times. From a psychological perspective, moments like this show that even public figures like Taehyung, who are used to the world's spotlight, are still humans with complex feelings. The pressure to always appear strong often makes celebrities reluctant to express emotions openly, yet that is exactly what makes Taehyung's confession so valuable. He shows that crying is not a sign of weakness, but a form of honesty toward oneself. What makes this story even more captivating is the speculation growing among fans about what exactly Taehyung was thinking at the time. Some believe he was reminded of BTS's early days, when he and Jungkook often practiced together, supporting each other in tough times, and dreaming big together. Others believe the moment stirred a sense of pride in Taehyung as he saw Jungkook grow into an extraordinary artist now recognized worldwide. Meanwhile, some ARMY connected the moment to BTS's future, which will soon reunite on stage, making the emotional wave a form of anticipation for their return. And the K-pop entertainment world, interactions between group members are often in the spotlight and become a hot topic. However, moments like this are rare, moments that are so genuine, unscripted, and honestly revealed to the public. Taehyung not only shared his experience, but also opened a window for fans to see another side of himself that is rarely visible: a proud friend, a loyal brother, and a human whose heart can be touched by the beauty of music and friendship. For many, this story is a reminder that behind the grandeur of the stage, the spotlights, and the glitter of the entertainment world, there are real human connections. BTS is not just about hit songs, synchronized dances, or international chart achievements. They are a family, and like any family, they experience deeply emotional moments that are sometimes hard to express in words. Taehyung's tears that night are a universal language understood by anyone who has felt the depth of friendship. The question now is, will this moment influence how BTS builds their 2026 comeback? Will this emotional closeness create music that is more personal and heartfelt, or even perhaps lead to a special collaboration between Taehyung and Jungkook? Fans certainly hope so. If those tears are a sign that they are preparing something big, then the world might soon witness one of the best chapters in BTS's history. In every story, there is a turning point. For Taehyung, that night might have been one of them. And for ARMY, this confession is a reminder that behind all the visible perfection, there is a trembling heart, flowing emotions, and irreplaceable friendship. And as always, BTS once again proves that they are not just stars on stage, but humans capable of making the world cry with them. The conclusion of this story is not only found in the tears that fell from Taehyung's eyes, but in the meaning contained within them. For some, this may just be a brief moment that happened at a concert. But for ARMY, it is an event that holds layers of emotion, memories, and hopes whose value is difficult to measure. Those tears were not just a spontaneous reaction to a song or the stage atmosphere, but a reflection of the long journey of friendship they've built over the years. Imagine, in the midst of the pounding music, the dazzling spotlight, and the cheers of the audience filling the arena, Kim Taehyung stood watching his fellow fighter, Jungkook, singing lyric after lyric with J-Hope. Every note heard was not just a melody but fragments of a life story they lived together. There was laughter in the past, there were struggles through storms, there was unconditional support, not always visible to the public. And in that moment, all those memories surged like waves that came without warning, breaking his emotional defenses, forcing tear after tear to fall. This story also reminds us that in a world often filled with perfect images, toughness, and smiles before the camera, emotional honesty becomes something rare yet precious. Taehyung could have chosen to lock his feelings away, letting that moment disappear into the night. But he chose to share it, even with embarrassment, as if saying to his fans, "I am human too, and I can cry." Here, we see that the strength of a star is not only in their ability to perform perfectly, but in their courage to show their vulnerable side. For Jungkook himself, perhaps he did not know the exact details of what Taehyung felt that night. But as a friend who has grown together since their teenage years, he most likely felt the same emotional vibrations. The relationship between them is not one born merely from working in the same group, but from time spent together, dreams fought for together, and wounds faced together. That is why the moment felt so authentic and touching. The ARMY's flood of reactions on social media after this interview became solid proof that even a simple story can have a big impact if delivered sincerely. Many admitted to feeling chills imagining how Taehyung looked at the stage, holding back sobs and keeping those tears for himself. Some even felt that this confession brought them closer to BTS because they could see that behind the grand stage, there are hearts working hard, souls feeling, and humans struggling to keep their brotherhood intact. Many have linked this incident to BTS's future, especially ahead of their big 2026 comeback. Is this a sign that there will be a song or a special performance depicting their friendship? Will Taehyung and Jungkook once again captivate the world with a duet born from mutual understanding? These questions tickle fans' imaginations, making them even more eager to anticipate the next stage that will reunite them as one complete family. On the other hand, this moment also serves as a reminder to the public that BTS is not just an entertainment industry phenomenon. They are a group of individuals who support each other, inspire each other, and become home to each other when the outside world feels too harsh. Taehyung's tears are small proof of the great love they have for one another. And for ARMY, that is worth more than thousands of trophies or records they have broken. Now, after that confession has been revealed, one thing is certain: Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship has carved a new chapter in BTS's long story. This chapter is not about international stage victories, not about chart achievements, but about a moment of pure humanity, a moment that makes millions of people around the world feel connected. In the busyness of life full of demands, this story reminds us to appreciate the people who stand by our side, not to be afraid to express feelings, and to realize that there is nothing wrong with crying when our hearts are truly touched. If one day BTS stands together on stage again, this moment will be remembered. Fans will see them not only as global icons, but as a group of friends who have gone through an extraordinary journey together. And perhaps, when the stage lights turn on again and the music plays once more, we will see Taehyung and Jungkook share a meaningful glance, a glance that reminds them and all of us that family is not always about blood, but about the people who choose to stay by our side. No matter what I in the end, this story is not only Taehyung's, Jungkook's, or BTS's. It is a story about all of us, about friendship, about the courage to be honest, and about how music can be a bridge between different hearts. Those tears, though they fell in silence, have now become part of history that will continue to be remembered by those who love BTS. And as always, behind every song, every stage, and every smile they give, there is always a story waiting to be told, a story that keeps us faithfully waiting for the next chapter.